So yeah, so you use this section for the hook. So your jaw can actually come over. You know, how does that feel?
Yeah, kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's a bit like I mean, I don't know if it's like it's because it's too short or if I'm not used to it, but I want to turn my head a bit.
Okay, you just play a bit. Try it out. Now that we moved, your instrument is actually moved back there, okay? So your golden point is actually a little bit higher, okay?
Yeah.
So, maybe they didn't tell you how to practice for a straight bow, but I will tell you, you have to do it in front of a mirror, okay?
Yeah.
In front of a mirror, okay? And I'll tell you exactly how to practice in front of a mirror, okay? But in the meantime, so now your bow is a bit crooked that way as opposed to the crooked that way. Mm-hmm. And you're good. Your arm isn't even open and you're at the tip. So this would be ideal if you can sustain this sort of angle.
This angle?
If this angle is like super for you, if it's comfortable for your left hand, you know, and the rest we can work with this angle.
Just if I want to turn my head to see what I'm doing.
That's okay. Oh, that becomes a problem?
Well, no. My violin moves a bit.
That's okay.
It goes up. Doesn't matter.
You got to get used to the violin. See, the thing, you got to get used to the violin to being very flexible.
Kind of stiff in the back of the, left back of the back, left top of the back.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of tense there for some reason.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it.
Yeah. I think it's not being used to pressing in and then your shoulder going up. Okay. It's like the pain of not using your shoulder.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know? So that's why, for the time being, I don't have a problem if you lift your shoulder just to get rid of that pain, if it works. Okay.
I can't really.
No.
Put my shoulder up.
Okay. All right.
Like the setup kind of forbids me from doing it.
I want to make sure it's not too high as well, because sometimes when it's too high, pains will develop. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I mean, right now, I mean, I like our general outline looks pretty good, you know, but just want to make sure. Let me give you a slightly lower sponge too, just to see. Okay, we've got to establish this. Any different?
It works just as well.
Okay.
So I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. One of the if I don't want to make it. I want to put the minimal amount of sponge there.
I don't feel like the sponge is completely like
compressed. Yeah.
Compressed under my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I guess I can put my shoulder up a bit easier, but.
Yeah. You know, the shoulder movement is very important. You have to let the shoulder move where it wants to go. If you prohibit it from moving and you're trying to make a movement to the upper positions, you will be basically forcing your shoulder down. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you want it, you're not shifting. But if you want to shift, especially up on the G string, your shoulder wants to naturally go because your arm is actually the collarbone to the shoulder to the elbow. You know, your whole arm actually starts over here. It doesn't start over here. You see. So when you move your arm like this, the shoulder moves, you know. Yeah. Shoulder is just one joint in the arm itself.
Yeah, it does move.
Yeah. So moving,
yeah,
moving shoulder. If you use a shoulder rest and you set up this rigidity between your jaw and you never move your shoulder, then you're immobilizing part of your arm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not to your advantage either, because once you have to start reaching around, you know, you have to do it with other stretches. But if your shoulder can bend and do this, then it's much easier to get up into position. So that's the first part is to enabling you to get facility in the upper positions is to liberate the shoulder. Especially if you're a short person, like you're average in terms of your size. But if you're a shorter person, you're definitely going to have to be able to liberate, because otherwise you'll never get around. So you'll find that. Just play a little bit with this setup. Just start to loosen up. I mean, we're trying such radical things from what you're used to.
Yeah, it's really,
you know, that even if I give you like the best setup, you're still not going to feel comfortable.
Yeah, especially that even turning my head, I can't really turn my head enough to really see the I'm gonna say fingerboard.
Yeah.
Like I used to, you know. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, because this section goes up fairly high, you know, and your other chinrest went flat. So. That's not a problem. We can change that. We can get you another. Sorry.
I still have to. I feel like I still have to hold it.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. Hold the violin. Hold the violin. Hold the violin. That's what you have to do.
We're good.
Stop for a second. Are you trying to make a bigger sound or something?
I don't know.
But I'll just tell you, it is a bigger sound already.
Hmm?
I don't know if you can pick it up on the mics, but it's a totally different sound from what you were doing before. I just want to know if you were actually deliberately doing it, or if you just.
I'm not pressing harder than earlier.
It doesn't have to do with pressing.
Okay.
It has to do with tension.
Okay.
If we're releasing the tension, the sound will just open up. You see, so that's what I'm just noticing. It just sounds so much fuller than it did before. And I was wondering if you were doing something, or if it just naturally.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't
Okay.
notice.
So it might be the setup is loosening you up a bit, and even
Yeah,
though
actually, I feel kind of tense still in the.
yeah, even though you
the
feel
back.
tense because something's weird, but other parts are loosening up. You know, so I'm just trying to get the. Okay, so I'm going to change the chinrest again. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
But it feels like comfortable, like in this zone.
Yeah.
Like, me, the tension comes like in the back, so
Yeah.
maybe it's the
So we'll put it
But,
aside as
I mean-
something interesting.
comfortable. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel kind of restrained.
Yeah. I'll give you something a little looser, and a little off to the side, so the angle's going to change. But and something a little lower, okay? Because I'm not a fan of going ultra high unnecessarily.
Okay.
Because ultra high can always cause a problem, pain in the shoulders, like you maybe you're experiencing. You know,
And it probably won't fit in the case.
there's solutions for that as well. Buy a new case. Cut a hole in the case.
Yeah, I have to. Anyways.
All right.
That feels like my old one.
So it's a little, the one you came here with me.
Yes.
All right. So in that sense, it's more comfortable, or like it's just more familiar.
More familiar.
Okay, play. You see, the sound isn't the same.
Hmm?
The sound was better with the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a more core to the sound with the other one. So it's something. How does your muscles feel?
Well, still, of course.
Still the pain,
yeah,
okay.
but I'm keeping my shoulder. I think I put it a bit higher this time
Okay.
because I don't know why I feel like it's like not as so difficult to.
Well, you're starting to hold the
see.
instrument. You have to hold the instrument with the left hand now.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I'm
so-
I'm
So you're feeling. So look, if it feels better just putting it down a bit, you know, just lower the
Yeah.
instrument. Okay.
yeah. But
So-
then I don't feel the sponge anymore.
Oh, then,
Maybe.
I mean, it's there. Oh, here. I moved a bit down.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel it? I can put the thicker one if you want.
I don't really feel it. I don't feel it.
But you don't feel the sponge?
Yeah.
Could it be interesting to see if he put on his old shoulder rest? Just
Not yet. It's you're obviously must be you're using it. It's stuck there. So,
Yeah, it's stuck there, so it's good.
yeah, it's you're pressing
Okay,
it.
so
I-
maybe it's not. I never used such sponge, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was using
You say you're not feeling it, but you're definitely squeezing it. So it's
yeah, well, here, but like on the other side, not
Yeah.
really, you know. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's normal or not.
all right. Well, that's okay.
But yeah, definitely here it works. Yeah.
Here, I'm just gonna pop a very big shoulder pad on you here. Okay, go.
Okay, now this feels more like my chin rests.
So how's that feel? How's that big one feel?
Well, it feels like a shoulder rest,
Like a regular-
yeah, that feels familiar.
Yeah. So
And comfortable.
it'll provide all the support you need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from that point
Yeah.
underneath, but it's not going to be as tight as your old shoulder rest,
That's tight. You mean?
as locked in, as rigid.
Yeah.
It's not quite as rigid.
No, it's not.
Do you notice that? Plus, it's you can put
So
it.
I can move it.
You can move it wherever you
Well,
want.
I have to remove it every time.
Well, no, that's an attachment problem. It's,
But yeah, it's comfortable.
yeah.
But I feel like I'm.
Does it feel like it's too much now? Maybe. 'Cause we
No,
just-
it doesn't.
we
Because I have this. I feel like the same. I still feel the. Well, the point of contact is not. I feel like it presses more on my chest
On
than
here.
on down my
The
collar.
collar. Okay.
So I don't know if that's an issue, but it's comfortable. But
Okay. So let's get back to this one. Okay. So what's the difference there?
Definitely, I want to. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time here.
That's okay. It's not obvious. I'm just curious. I want to put this chin rest back on to see if I can get that sound again. Okay. Give me something. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the.
Yeah. So at the frog, your bow is really crooked.
Yeah.
Okay, because you don't bend your wrist. Okay.
Okay, I should
You
do
can-
that.
Well, then in order to make a straight bow, you're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do it.
Straight bow would be.
Also, when you're at the tip, I notice you're really bent over a lot like that, which causes a lot of tension here.
Okay.
Okay, if you actually bend the other way, that's it. Lower your wrist, hang the fingers off. Okay, and use this index finger and thumb to provide the necessary contact.
Okay.
Try that. Try your da 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 da. Yeah, so I noticed the bow is quite flexible in your fingers, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you're starting off here, and the bow changes angles, and it really shouldn't.
Okay.
It should
It should stay like in the same.
well, whatever it is,
I
because
never noticed that.
yeah, I mean, we're at any point along the bow stroke, if that's at some point it should be vertical. So anytime I get to that point, it should be like that.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be like that. It should be like that. It should be like that. Whether I'm coming from here, gets there, or from there, comes there. So if I'm bowing at the tip and I'm like this, it shouldn't go like back and forth like this. It means I'm doing something with this, but you shouldn't be rolling the stick
Okay.
in your fingers. Okay, that's just not very good.
That makes sense.
Okay, so you pick something, one angle, and so nothing in this business. So when you're up there, it should stay that. So And the reason I'm saying, because if you're like this, if you go like that, you start to set up a tension along the side that goes all the way up the elbow. But if you drop your wrist,
Yeah.
if you drop your wrist, okay, then it loosens this all up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So and have you always played with your bow between these two joints, or did anybody ever tell you to put it
Sometimes
there?
I play like this. I think I used to play like this.
Yeah.
I think I just moved it today.
Today?
Like, was it like that at the beginning of
I
the
can't
consultation?
remember if I noticed.
Because I think I play usually more like this because I have, you can see I have a little.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Who's
So
there?
that's I was curious as to why. Yeah.
I
So,
don't know. I think I changed it because of the angle.
Okay. So
Because like this, I'm.
yeah. So
nice,
this
I can press.
yeah this is the heading towards the Russian hold, let's say, and this is more toward the Franco-Belgian hold. Let's say this is more flexible. Okay. Not as strong at the tip. This is really strong. But at the same time, it's not as flexible because you don't have an extra joint to amortize the movement. So, but this is definitely going to be more
So
flexible.
I should try to.
Yeah, I'd go with that one.
Damn, that's difficult.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
we don't. So we don't know yet how you do it. So if you're going to go like this, just well, how would you do that?
That's how I would do it.
Oh, interesting.
It won't sound good, but.
Yeah, I see. So okay, so you don't. So you don't have this flexibility there
No, I don't.
to go this way. Okay. Yeah. That's what you don't have. Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be what the your teacher's been trying to get you
Yeah.
to do with the.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's more like
The wrist and the fingers.
down, but at the same, there's a bit of that. Right. This is almost more of a circular, but it's basically this and this at the same time, so you get this circular motion of that. But if you're just on one string, okay, you can't have your hand this way and go sideways like this. Okay, you have to sort of turn it like this and do more of this action. Okay, because the wrist doesn't do this. I mean, it might do it for like. The other thing is, if you have your grip like this and you try and put the sideways, your bow goes like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It does this.
Yeah.
So the only way to have the small bow strokes with using your wrist is if you turn your fingers and then they can do this. You see? So it's more like a sideways swimming action, Yeah, so it's like the wrist going like you're paddling sideways in combination with the fingers.
I can't do this.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, take the pinky off. Okay. So, you see some people say, "Oh, pinky stays on all the time," or something like that. But and they say that all the the pinky is used all the time to control the balance of the bow. Well, when you have the bow on the strings, you don't need the pinky anymore. You need very little, actually. Right? In fact, I can do all the pressure I need here because it's so little pressure. I'm never going to need the pinky to take off the pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're playing at the tip, it's not enough pressure. I have to add a bit. So I basically can play without the pinky at the tip, without the third finger too. You know, and the second finger, well, that's just to make sure my thumb stays in the area because it doesn't do anything. If the second finger is right opposite the thumb, which is the fulcrum, you know, any tension, any pressure I put on the second finger does absolutely nothing to increase tension of the bow or release the tension of the pressure of the bow on the string. So it's basically there to help control my thumb to make sure it stays in place. So adding pressure is the job of the index finger. Once there, I can almost take off my second finger. Now I'm laughing. Okay, this is the stroke you want. Okay, but I only have two fingers involved: my thumb and my index finger. Yeah. So that's the minimum amount of fingers required for this stroke.
Okay.
The rest of them are hanging on. If they hang on but get in the way, then you have difficulty. Okay, so you want to practice this stroke just with those two fingers. Okay, because those are the main ones that you need. If you use the other ones, you just add them on, but they have to cooperate. Okay, if you try to do the stroke with other fingers, it's like they're not there for the job. It's like having a group of people, you know, to do a job, and one person really knows what they're doing, another person really knows what they're doing, and the other three or four, they're gonna get in the way, right?
Yeah.
And even if you assign them something, you know, they still don't have an idea what's going on. Okay, so that's just a bit like that. Find out who does the job. Okay. Then you can add the second if you want. Okay. Line them up like that and just let them go along, but they got to cooperate. Yeah. Do that faster. Faster. Get the other fingers out of the way.
Oof.
So when you think faster, when you do it faster, start thinking in groups. So you're just thinking now, dega, 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 dega. Right? But think of like, start to think of it in groups of four. Okay, that way your brain doesn't have to follow every note. It follows groups, and your spasm fits into the groups. Try it.
I don't think I have the.
You don't have the spasm speed. Oh, look at that! You got spasm. Whoa!
I'm all tense in the forearm, but.
Yeah. So you.
Why can't I?
So this is good that you can get that speed. Okay. So when you do a spasm bow stroke, okay, you practice with a spasm, and you try to reduce tensions everywhere where you don't need, and you try and keep it up, you know, and you find out what's the minimum amount of spasm that you can stick into your fingers. Okay, so you start off with this. You go, and you just try to do something while you keep, you know, loosen your elbow, move it up and down, you know, and see if you can still do this. Try it. Okay.
Hours of.
That's interesting. It doesn't feel, doesn't look tight. It looks loose.
Yeah, but it really is like all my muscle there and and the bicep also. Like,
Okay.
like,
So
it's
don't
contracted,
tense
like,
yourself up now. Yeah, one way to start controlling the spasm is to start putting in a rhythm, and then so you start off with you okay, if you can get them in the rhythms, you know, with a metronome, you know, these spasms, you know, and then force them to go different tempos, then eventually you'll get into control of your spasms. Okay?
Yeah.
Same thing
so
if you
I
want.
should try to like lower tempo like you just did until the point where there's no tension and try to figure out what the difference.
That's it. So you start with a spasm, find out what speed is on the metronome, and then just make sure you're stuck with the metronome, and then keep slowing it down.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the way. That's the way. The same thing if you want to do
Nice.
like your staccato. It's a spasm, right? You slow it down till you get what you want. I mean, something like, you can spasm into
I
down
don't see how
bow.
you can do that, but
Yeah.
obviously a lot of people do.
Yeah. So it's down bow, spasm, control, spasm. Okay, so that's you can work with that. You still
thanks
feeling
for
that pain in the back of the shoulder?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, pain, it's more like, yeah, it does hurt a bit.
Tension, sort of.
Yeah, tension, sort of.
All right, let me. That's good. See, we're just shaking you up now. Okay. Let me try something really interesting.